So George, how many children do you have, and how old are they?
I've got 3 children, a boy and 2 girls. Their ages are 11, 9 and 8.
And what's the best part about being a dad for you?
The best part of being a dad, it's funny, I think it sort of evolves as they grow. And I think now, at this stage, you see them, their personalities and their thought process, they're turning into little people, and that's exciting. And you have a little bit of a role to play in that, and you observe it. Like my son loves his sport. The Olympics has just been on. He loves Usain Bolt, and so everything about that. You know, you could talk to him for an example. Like he loves his sport, and I'd say maybe put a tracksuit on in winter, and keep yourself warm. And all his mates don't wear tracksuits, so he doesn't. Sort of goes in one ear out the other. But he saw Usain Bolt wearing a tracksuit, and he wore a beanie. Then he turns up the following day. He's down at the training. He's down at the field. And he's wearing a tracksuit, and he's wearing a beanie just like Usain Bolt. So that's kind of cool. So you see them looking up to their role models outside of like what they have within their own peer group or their own family. Similar to the daughters, they're glued to the Olympics. Like it's funny, just talking post-Olympics. The Olympics was amazing in terms of athletes don't say they want to be role models, but they have such a big impact on kids, particularly kids who are really active, and our 3 are really active. And the girls are obsessed by the gymnastics and seeing how they present themselves. So they turn up and do their dance, and they're very particular in how they prepare themselves. So, just seeing how that develops and how that they start making their own choices from what they see, which is a really big part of, I think, of parenting. You have a role to play, but a lot of it is done by people outside of their close-knit network, which is family and close friends. They're starting to look outside for motivation or inspiration, which is great. I think parents, like you see them, like your kids are always looking towards their parents. Like you've got a pretty big role to play right from the get-go, haven't you? And the role that I have to play, like sort of with my wife and I, we're very similar. We're pretty consistent on you'd call them not necessarily principles, just behaviour, manners, how you speak to people. We're pretty consistent on all those types of things, and probably drive it home. There could be the good cop, bad cop sometimes with parent. I'm more often than not probably Dirty Harry in that regard. But the kids, they really respond to it, I think. I think you set up boundaries, so to speak, or you give them choices to make and understand. That's all we can do. You educate them on what those choices might lead to. That's all part of it. But they've got a pretty good understanding. We're pretty big on just simple things like looking people in the eye, good manners, saying thank you, all that sort of stuff. Real basic stuff, and just being consistent with it. And they get it. And it's nice when you hear other people talk about, kids are really, it's a pleasure having them. They show good manners, all that kind of stuff. It's real small stuff, and we're pretty big on that. And it's a lot of people are too, but it's nice seeing how they respond. And they're at a young age now. There's obviously another growth period ahead of us, which will be challenging as well, but that's all good.